In this exercise we will see how to import geometry into IronCAD. So I will start a new scene. To import geometry, you come up here to click this button in the Home tab, Import Geometry. You find that button in the Assembly tab as well. Here we have Import Geometry. But I will go back to Home tab and click this button here. And if you have downloaded the files for this course, you will find two files that we can use to import geometry. It's the bracket Parasolid and also step. But in this case, in this tutorial, we are going to use bracket Parasolid, and I will select it. But before we open and import the bracket, we come down here to the menu button first. Click here and we have import options, and this dialog window opens. Here we have some settings for if you want to import geometry. For instance, you can import IGS or DXF, STL, and so on. There are different settings here, but we will focus on the general tab in this case. So this is my default settings when it comes to import geometry. Display list of results at the end of import. Also import all external links to a single file, and add default colors for parts without color, repair body, and also manual place, which means that I will get the opportunity to click where I want to place the imported part. So I will have it this way, and then I click OK. Make sure that this bracket is selected now. Come down to Open. Click here. And now we see that I can place this imported object anywhere I want. So I'll place it here. And this bracket is an assembly. If we come over to the scene browser, we see that it is an assembly, and it is created in a different CAD software. And if I expand the assembly, we see that there are 4 parts, and there is also a subassembly which contains 2 parts. If I expand the bracket, where we see that this is not an ordinary feature or IntelliShape, it is a B-rep. If I select this B-rep, it means boundary representation. We see that this bracket now has yellow edges, and these yellow edges defines the limits for this part. And if you right-click this B-rep, you will see there is IntelliShape properties, but there's just a few settings for this IntelliShape because it is B-rep. I will click cancel here. And if you come over to the scene browser again, we have this locking pin, and this locking pin is downloaded from the internet to use as a reference in my design to see if it will fit, or if I have to change the design of this bolt. And if you come up here to the add-ins tab, you will find different communities where you can download 3D parts, for instance Cadenas or Sketchfab and Trace Parts community. But we will focus on this imported part in this tutorial, so I will go back to the Home tab. Then I will select this bolt in part level, then turn on the tribal, right drag this handle and drop it here and copy it. Click OK. Turn off the tribal. When it is selected, I will hide the other parts, so I will do that by pressing Ctrl Alt Space. So this part is a boundary representation. If I now expand the bolt here, the copy, we see that it is a boundary representation of B-rep. If I click again, we come to face and edge level. If I now right-click this surface or face, and we see that there are some options you have. You can blend the edges, chamfer, you can also move faces, you can edit face radius, also create extrude, sweep and so on, and also changing the color. But in this case I will edit the face radius, so I click here and we see here in the properties that the radius is 21, and I can change that to 25. So now the diameter of the bolt is 50 millimeters. So when I change the diameter, this hole, the length of the hole will not change. It stay at where it was placed from the beginning, and the chamfer is very large in this case. So I have to change the chamfer, and to do that I have to remove it first and then add a new one. So I can click and select the face or this chamfer and then delete it, or if I now deselect, you can come down here to choose face selection and select the face. Then you can right click, choose delete faces, and you can also right click again and click OK. But there is another way of doing it. If we come down here on this side, you can press Ctrl Alt and then left click. You will open this menu, and here you can choose what you want to select, and I want to select this one. Click it, right click and delete faces directly, like so. So now you can add a new chamfer. So I will select this bolt in part level, then I will press the S key, choose chamfer, 2 millimeters, select this edge, come to this side and select the edge, like so, and then I hit enter, like so. And if we go back to the IntelliShape level here, we see that if I move the cursor or have the cursor over different parts of this bolt, some handles appears. Some of them is very hard to catch, like this one, and there is a trick to grab it. If you have the cursor over this face here, you can press and hold the Control key. Now you have unlocked this handle. So now you can, for instance, you can right click and choose edit distance if you want to change how much you would like to add or remove, or you can also, let's see now, you can also grab this handle, left click and hold, you can let go of the Control key, then you can move this face and drop it there to change the look of the bolt. So there are different ways of modifying a part, even if it is a boundary representation or a B-rep, but I will undo that. You can also change this blend. If I now come down here, select face, select this blend and right click, I can choose faces to IntelliShape. If we come over to the scene browser, we have a blend here. If I select the blend, I can change the size of the blend to, for instance, 4 millimeters, like so, and deselect. So there are different ways of changing a boundary representation or B-rep part. So then I will bring back all hidden parts by pressing Shift Space, and we see that there are still an assembly. So I will do like this. I will right click and I will disassemble them, like so. In the next video we will look at the import options.